Hi guys. Hi guys. Hi guys. How are you? Again, I'm back. Again, if you are coming here for the first time, this is First for Girls for STEM. I'm back again because I received some questions about the previous video that I did concerning how do you work in the lab. So again, I'm back, guys. I have so many questions about the previous video that I did about internships and how you can improve your resume to do internships. So they said, what kind of work can you be doing in the lab, for example? So I'm here to talk about how you can volunteer to work in the lab, for example, to build your resume on your STEM career. So I have some few tips here to show you why you can work in the lab for a professor, for a teacher. If you are a high school student, you can ask your teachers. If you are a college student, you can go and ask these professors that work in the lab, that have good labs. Even at the university, you can do that. I did that. I worked as a lab assistant when I was at the university. So I just want to tell you some few tips. So why should you work in the lab, for example, and what kind of work is found in the lab? So sometimes the professors will ask you to make sure the reagents are enough for the students. Sometimes the professor has got students and she or he wants to make sure that the reagents are enough. So she can ask you to just ensure, because of course he or she does most of the work. So she can ask you to ensure that the reagents are enough for the student so you can go and verify. The other one is ensuring that all the chairs are enough on the desks. So you can be making sure, they have enough, chairs, because when the students come, they want to make sure that they are comfortable and they have everything. The other part is you ensure that all the paperwork that are supposed to be used for the students are enough. The professor will also ask you to do that as well. So the other thing is also the professor can ask you to make sure that all the instruments that you'll be working with, or the machines, again, I'm just here trying to tell you and respond to the question that I was asked, that what kind of work can you do in the lab if you actually volunteer to work in the lab for a professor or for a teacher. So going to the third point. So the third point is just to make sure that, maybe the professor has prepared some documents, some papers that I need to be used for those students to do the lab work. So she will ask, or he will ask you to make sure that they are enough for the students that are coming and the number that, the professor knows. The other thing is instruments. Are the instruments enough? Are they okay? Are they on every table? So you can go and make sure all those are done. So that's a job that you can be doing. That's more like a job, building your resume. So you may be in high school, you may be a university or a college student. That's a job that you can do at the college. So let's move on to another one. She may also ask you to check some calibration, for example, digital calibration. Can you make sure that they are, within a certain range? Just looking at them, that could be a very good thing that you can do. The other one is you may be able to cut parts or samples that the student will be working on. So you'll be able to ensure that the samples are cut, that the samples are stenciled properly. They may require to be stenciled A, B, C, D, or something like that, whatever the professor wants the kids to come and perform those tests on. So she may or he may ask you to make sure that the samples are stenciled properly, they are enough, so that when the students come to work on those samples, everything is okay. They are not. It's not a repetitive, because sometimes when you're working with samples, they have to be with a specific letter or a specific word on the sample. So some of those things she can help you to either stencil them or things like that. Mind you, all these are skills, and you're also learning, looking at the lab, what kind of requirements are needed. You may not know, you may also want to be a biologist, or you may want to be a scientist or things like that, but you have to work work in the lab, help professors and volunteer. That adds on your resume. The other thing you can also do is she may ask or he may ask you to check the furnaces. There are also furnaces where they bend stuff sometimes, depending on what kind of the lab it is. And then you can also check to see maybe the digits on the, the numerical digits are correct, or things like simple things. They look like they're simple, but they're very important. But some of these professors, they work, you know, they come, they are very busy, so they need someone, a volunteer or kids, to help them, college students, university students, to help me prepare for the, for the lab before the students actually come. So what are the other, yeah, so the professors, they do really work. And the other thing is, it also benefits you. That means, when you know what's going on, you know how to do the work, you can add those tasks that you're performing in the lab, you can add them on your resume. And you are building your resume in high school, you are building your resume at college, community college, you're building your resume at the university. By the time it comes to apply for internship, you are good to go. So when you go there, ensure that you want to, to be driven to ask these professors or teachers if they have, any extra activities that they need you to perform. So I'll move on to the other one. The other thing is, so once you have all these tasks that you've been assigned, you can tabulate them very, very nicely on your resume. Every task that you did may mean something to an employer. Every task that you performed may mean something to, certain types of labs. So this can help you finally get your internship, because that's what most people struggle with. They struggle with internship. They struggle with, getting their first gig, their first job. So that's why I'm trying to, let you know that you need to be persistent. You need to be able to make sure you can request for these, to volunteer for these, especially like helping as a lab assistant at the university, even at a high school. It starts from there. In the high school, professors also need help. They need to rearrange their, the lab, the tables, maybe even to pick up a few things and clean up things like that. That looks simple, but you are learning, you are watching what the professor is doing, you are watching how he's asking you to prepare some of these things. That will help you understand how to work. Because what I notice is most people, they finish their career, for example, by the time they finish their education, the fourth year, even in engineering, they've never worked anywhere. But guess what? There are so many opportunities at universities. There are so many opportunities at the high school. There are so many opportunities at the community college. You just can't go to class and come back. You have to engage these professors. Do you have anything that I can help you with? Do you have anything that I can volunteer, help you during your lab sessions, or before, prior to lab sessions? As I mentioned, some of these professors, they do work. Sometimes they come there, from coming from, from their work. So this is the good time you can prepare. They'll tell you, oh, can you make sure the lab is doing this? Make sure you have put this. Can you cut these samples? Can you make sure there is ice in the lab? You have to go get ice from somewhere. You have to put them ice somewhere. And I'm telling you this because this is what I did. I asked for a pre-employment, like at the lab, where I can work and experience that work. And it was not difficult for me to get an internship as a STEM career person. And that's why I would like to give you this opportunity, you guys, so that you can see that when you go to a class or to school, you can work there, you can volunteer to do something in that school, and such that you can build your resume. So that's what happens if you want to work in a lab as a lab assistant. You can be called as a lab assistant. So I just wanted to tell you guys that, you can do. And, someone asked me to talk about what kind of jobs are in the lab, what can they do, things like that. And it's fun. You will learn a lot from the professors. You will learn a lot from what you're just seeing, how things are prepared prior to when the students start testing their samples or the whatever experiment they are given. So anyway, I just wanted to answer to the question that I was asked to by one of the students. So you guys, ciao, ciao. If you have any questions you want to ask, please leave a comment. And if you are watching this for the first time, do not forget to smash that button. We're going to make another one. Don't worry. Again, thank you so much for watching this. I really, really do appreciate. And ciao, ciao. Thank you.